Soul movement and kick spotting. Sir, you may take the first question.
Hi James, Miguel from Kick Spotting. What was your initial reaction when you first saw the Volume 1? And talk about how the signature line has evolved.
My first initial reaction was, I was excited. It's not like they just handed me a shoe and I was surprised. Like I was in every email and meeting and design meeting to where I kind of knew how it was going to turn out. But then when you actually put it on and it's like something you created, it's like a different special feeling. And so it's dope, man. It's something that kids dream about, to have their own signature shoe, and then it's like, all right, you're here, and you get an opportunity to play in it, and you got different colors. It takes your confidence and your swag to like another level. It's pretty cool.
Martin from Soul Movement and Boy Basket. So basically, let's go to the basketball side. Over the game's history, got so many greats, so many legends that play the game. Which player, if you had a chance to play with and play against, or play against?
I'd probably say Jordan. Just he's the GOAT. He's he was just unstoppable. So I want to kind of feel what that feels like. On both ends of the floor, being in a locker room, just being around him, that competitive nature, just all that all that total package, from on the court and off the court that he brought to the game of basketball. With his signature shoe and how it's evolved from. It's been, I don't know how long since he's been retired, but it's still like relevant and it's really good. So that's just a different dynamic that he created off the court, but on the court, he was just a different beast. So probably be MJ.
Thanks.
Hi James, I'm Jerry Saga of Rappler. You're entering your 8th season in Houston and your 3rd with Chris Paul. Has the sense of urgency around the team reached an all-time high to deliver the championship, and how are you channeling that hunger for yourself?
I think that's the sense of urgency is always there. Like that's every single year. Your goals is to be holding that title up and win the championship. I'm sure Chris has had those same goals since he's been in the league, and myself as well. And I think that's every NBA player's goal. So for me, it's just continue to work hard, continue to try to put myself in the best position, come in the best shape, and continue to work on my skill set, continue to be a sponge, listen to teammates, coaches, front office, anyone that can give me some advice to help my game go to another level, and just continue to work, and follow those rules, and I can set myself up to be holding the championship.
Speaking of your game, what was your key to consistency in your amazing run last season?
Just the will, finding the will to win games. I think throughout that 32 game, it was a stretch of scoring. Throughout the other courses of the games, it was maybe assists, it was maybe defense, it was a variety of things. So I think every game, it's its own challenge, and you got to find ways to impact that game and try to win the game. And so throughout the course of the season, you might have injuries, you might have guys that are in and out of the lineups. You can't let that sidetrack you. You have to make sure you're focused on winning that game, and that was kind of my mindset.
Hey James, Ken from ABS-CBN. Yesterday you were at the UP gym. You shared the stage with some kids, and there was a girl who shared her inspiring story of how she overcame challenges. What was your toughest challenge that you had to overcome in your career that molded you into the player that you are today?
Toughest challenge? I'm in it right now. I'm in the toughest challenge right now. Like I haven't reached my goals yet. All the individual accolades, all those are, great, for most people. But for me, I'm in it right now. Like I'm still trying to overcome it and find a way to get out and prevail to the top. So I'll let you know once I get out of it.
Hey James, Santino from ABS-CBN also. First off, welcome back to the Philippines.
Thank you.
Throughout your career, you've recently gained a level of superstardom and worldwide. And because of that, you see a lot of kids, a lot of aspiring young basketball players who like to emulate your style of play. They practice the step back, they practice the Euro steps. How does it feel seeing these kids look up to you and try to do what you do on the floor?
Honestly, it feels great. Like those moves, I learned them from someone. Like I learned, I watched, Dwayne Wade and Manu, as far as Euro step. Paul Pierce had a crazy step back. So I watched those guys, like I learned and I just studied and I tried to figure out ways to do those moves and then be better at them, and take those moves to another level. And that's what I've done, especially for the step back. And so hopefully, these kids are watching and they're studying the game of basketball and they're finding ways to continue to be better. And hopefully they'll take those moves or create different moves and take the basketball game to another level. Like, it's great for not only just the NBA, but just worldwide, And so, just back ago in China, I seen a little kid who just motivated me. He was 7 years old, but he can shoot the ball. He had so much confidence. He hit a couple shots in a row in front of 5,000 people, arena already. And then I was like, you know what, let's see, you make another shot, you can have my shoes. He was like, all right. And he just shot it with so much confidence. And when he made it, it was like, he knew he was gonna make it already. It's like, all right, that's what I love to see. Like, that motivates me to wanna continue to go out there and do what I do at a high level, because you got kids that really follow and pay attention to what you're doing in your every move. So, yeah, that keeps me going.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you for those first batch of questions. Now, you may now exit, and as we call on the second batch of reporters, that is CNN, ESPN5, Slam, and NBA Philippines. All right, now, James, let me just chat with you for a little bit. All right, Mr. James here is getting cozy already. Now let's start with the first set of questions from the second batch of reporters.
Hi James, good afternoon. I'm John from NBA Philippines. Okay, my first question is, this is not your first time to the Philippines. What is that has encouraged you to come back here multiple times?
I've been here 3 or 4 times. Just the love, support. You guys don't get an opportunity to see, NBA basketball live and personal. So I want you guys to feel my energy. And so whenever I get an opportunity to come here and show you guys the support and the appreciation that I have for you guys, I'm gonna make it happen. And so I know it's been a couple of years, but I'm happy I'm here. You guys have shown me nothing but a lot of love, and I can appreciate it.
Nice. Okay. My second question is, we know that you have the Japan games just around the corner. So, what are you most excited about for your trip to Japan?
Say it again.
Okay. We know that you have the Japan games just around the corner. So, what are you most excited about for your trip to Japan?
First off, I've never been to Japan, so I'm excited to go there. But just whenever we go out the country, especially like as a team, we try to put on a show. Like I said, because fans in Japan don't get an opportunity to see NBA players, NBA teams actually have a real game in Japan. So I know for myself, I'm going to want to have fun. I'm going to try to put on a show and try to give the Japanese fans something to be excited about. And so, I think our entire organization is pretty stoked about that as well.
Okay, my turn. Hey, James. How much of your personality, style, and swag goes into the shoe that you put out, every edition of the shoe?
Everything. that's what it is. Obviously, you have to have the mechanics and things like that to where you can see, like, this, make sure this the stability is where it needs to be able to perform on the basketball court. Making sure they hold up, making sure that the moves that I do in the game, the step backs and the Euro steps and the crossovers and things like that, when I do those moves, that my shoe is coming with me, and so all that stuff is tested at a high level. Every year we continue to get better, and just the real reason, or the thought process going into creating a shoe is, for my fans and like my supporters. Obviously, I need the things I need to do to perform, but the way that it looks, the color waves, are all inspirational things that I see when I'm traveling out of the country, whether it's Philippines or China or Japan. Like I see something I like it. Maybe it's the culture that's here in the Philippines, and I'm like, okay, I need to create a shoe for my fans because they show me, like that's the inspiration that I get. So that's why I love to travel, and just the different colorways that I create are mostly for my fans.
Hey James, Paulo Darusari from Sam Philippines. By the way, he is your biggest fan. He chased you he was there when you landed, right outside your plane, literally. Anyway, so with that in mind, there are a lot of Rockets fans here in the Philippines, and they know that you guys were the biggest threats to the Warriors in the past few seasons, and now next season in a down year for the Dubs, what would it take for the Rockets, for you guys, to go that next level, reach the finals, and end up with a chip?
Just get a little bit better. That's all we can do. From individual, myself, Chris, Clint, PJ, Eric, like all guys get a little bit better, and then from the front office to bring more skill, more talent, more guys that have that championship nature and want to win into our locker room, and continue to put ourselves in a position. I think 2 years ago, why we were so successful, while we were one game away from the finals, is because we had vets, we had guys that's been through it throughout the course of the league, long time over, longevity in the NBA. And then last year, we went through so much adversity as far as injuries and trades and getting out to a bad start that I don't know how, but we fought through it and we still got to the top 4 seed in the West. So, just keep healthy, keep getting better, and then just try to put ourselves in a position to be successful.
Hi James, I'm Pauline from CNN Philippines. Welcome to Manila, first of all.
Thank you.
So earlier you talked about your signature sidestep. Could you share with us how you actually mastered this? And if you're up for it, can you show us how to do it correctly? Or even teach me.
It's so many ways to do the sidestep and step back that it's hard to explain. It's like one of those things where you have to be in a game and someone's guarding you. But like I said, just being a student of the game, watching Paul Pierce step back. Like Paul Pierce didn't have like a very fast step back. His was at his own pace. He just had enough separation to get the defender off of him to get his shot off. So him and I watch a lot of game and I work. I'm in the gym always trying to find ways to get better. And so, when you see defenses guard you all different types of ways, you have to find ways to still be effective throughout the course of a game. And the step back and the moves that I do, just even in the gym today, just working on different moves this morning before I got here to try them next year in the game. So I don't know. I'm a little kid when it comes to basketball.
James, the NBA currently has a lot of international players, and our very own Kai Soto, who stands at 7'2", is actually training overseas to chase his NBA dream. But what do you think it will take for a Filipino player to make it to the league?
Amazing. And not just Filipino, but just international players. Like there's so many international players that are making it to the NBA that it's great. Like we're taking the NBA not just for the U.S. but just worldwide, and that gives little kids, whether you're Filipino, whether you're in China, all over the world, that confidence. Like, hey, look at my Filipino buddy who made it to the NBA, or look at my Chinese buddy who made it to the NBA. Like I have confidence and I have a chance and opportunity to make it. So let me work hard, let me focus, let me get my head right in school and stay in the gym, and I can make it to the NBA too. So globally, the game of basketball is at another level.
Thank you, James.
Thank you.
Hi James, JC from ESPN5. Welcome back to Manila.
What's up,
You've been open about your mom's sacrifices for you and your siblings. You even wrote a letter to her saying that you'd be a star one day. You even had a particular colorway off that story. I just want to know what drove you to write that letter, and how fulfilling is it now that you've made good on that promise?
I've always been confident, even when I was a young kid. So I just wrote her a letter. Honestly, I think I wrote the letter just because I wanted some money. But no, honestly, I've always been confident and had that just edge to me that I had to make it. And so wrote that letter, just was always in the gym. I was always outside playing. Like I love the game of basketball. Like I love how it made me feel playing on the playground with my friends. And then when I got to high school, it got more serious. So like when I used to catch the bus to school, I used to catch the bus a little earlier before classes start to be in the gym shooting before class, 6 a.m., 6:30, something like that. And it was like a routine, and I fell in love with the routine, and I fell in love with the work ethic and how it makes you feel and what you get out of it, like, and you continue to get better. And as a freshman, I played varsity, and I just continue to get better, continue to grow. My senior year, then that work ethic never left me. Like even now, to this day, I still work my butt off and still find ways to get better because I feel like I have a long way to go. Like I haven't made it to where I want to go yet. And until I'm done playing basketball, that's what it's going to be.
Last question. You are a star now, so you basically a role model for younger kids. What advice could you give to younger players who are facing challenges such as playing with teammates or other players who have contrasting playing styles?
Focus on what you can control. Whether it's a coach that's messing with your minutes or teammates that's being selfish, just like focus on what you control. Continue to work. Don't focus on nothing you can't control. Like don't focus on anybody that's bringing you negative energy, that's telling you you can't do something, that's hating on you. Continue to just focus on the positives, the things that you can get out. Study the game, love the game, fall in love with the game. And it's not going to happen overnight. Like just because you work out for a week or 2 weeks, you think you're supposed to be in the NBA. Like no, it's every single day. It's finding ways, getting better a little bit every day. You have that mindset, and year and 2 years, and you'll see a complete difference. But block out all the negative energy. Like keep it away from you. Block it out.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, that's a wrap. Thank you so much, reporters, for coming out here.